walking up and seeing this massive temple just slowly rise out of the earth as you're coming up the hill. And then to find out that it's 2 million separate blocks of stone that were put together to hold this temple together, and you find out that it was made in the 8th century and that over the last 40 years there's this massive effort to rebuild it. It was something that unlike I had ever seen before.
Panel-panel yang ada di Borobudur itu sebagian besar memang diambil dari kitab suci ya, kitab suci umat Buddha, dan itu yang berhubungan dengan kehidupan pada masa itu. Jadi saya yakin apa yang di kitab suci digambarkan lewat relief, tapi relief juga yang aktual pada zaman itu. Karena kita tahu Nusantara sebagian besar adalah laut, berarti air, yang kita yakin dihubungkan pada saat itu antar pulau itu dengan kapal. Inilah yang coba digambarkan di relief Borobudur.
The ships are embedded in these long plates of all of these different things, and they're really their documentation of what happened. In all of the carvings, there's these expressions of different emotions, there's these different interactions that are happening. What was so striking about it was that these people on the ships were still wrought with emotion. You could see the fear in some of the people's eyes. You could see, in some cases, their elation. You could see their ability to almost be a reflection of the emotions that I've seen while sailing on board Hokulea. And this is in these stone carvings that are over 1,000 years old, that there's still this emotion packed into these faces. And you know, the mast and the sails are clearly laid out. It doesn't necessarily look like a canoe. It looks like a ship, but the pieces that are there are all intact. There's masts, there's sails, there's a keel, there's a tiller or a steering blade. They had taken those carvings and actually lifted plans for an actual ship to actually voyage somewhere, but it would be built in and around that idea that this was from this very old model. And for us, that sounded a lot like what would have happened with Hokulea in the 70s.
Itu memang menarik ya, masalah kapal Samudra Raksa ini memang terinspirasi dari relief Borobudur, kemudian diwujudkan dalam replika kapal yang diberi nama Samudra Raksa. Dan itu dari diskusi panjang pada saat itu, pada saat Presiden Megawati ini ada keinginan ya untuk menunjukkan kebanggaan terhadap bangsa kita lah tentu ya, untuk kita pada zaman dulu juga bisa, berarti kita sekarang juga bisa.
Part of this rebuilding of the temple and wanting to build an actual ship rather than just stare at the one that's the relief carving in the temple is this same thing that Hawaiians and Polynesians wanted to do back in the 70s with the creation of these canoes. That whatever the modern anthropological thought that had become our reflection for us, we needed to create it and recreate it for ourselves so that we knew the truth of what it was. And it was very clear that the intent for the building of the ship is the same thing. That you have these group of people who maybe didn't know all the answers and didn't know if this was actually going to be possible, but they did it anyway. And they did it in a way and retraced a route that gave them certainly pride, and probably more than that, being this immense amount of realization that brought more than just the ship relief carving to life, but that whole temple to life.
Kita pakai kapal ini untuk berlayar sampai ke Madagaskar sambil berhenti atau singgah di beberapa tempat, dan itu juga dilakukan beberapa pertemuan dengan pihak-pihak setempat, dan ternyata ada kesamaan budaya, dari bahasa yang paling mudah, dari cara bercocok tanam, dari makanan, ada beberapa kesamaan.
It's well within the realm of knowledge that these guys went on these on these journeys. And they did it 1,000 years before all of these other things that make voyaging easier that we have this luxury of having that they didn't have. And more importantly, they had the wisdom and the skill to do so.
Tentu sangat penting ya, ini adalah lambang kejayaan kita di masa lalu, dan ini yang harus terus kita lestarikan, kita pertahankan, sehingga apa yang diwariskan oleh nenek moyang kita dulu harus kita rekonstruksi, harus kita pugar.
There are those who see it as this life's work to make sure that this temple is in as good condition as it can be to pass it down for the next and the next, and that it's not something that's static, that you're done and then you leave it and then it goes on to the next, but it's actually something that you have to engage in and you have to malama through time.
Saya merasa dilahirkan di Borobudur. Jadi apalagi ini sebagai peninggalan nenek moyang kita, dan saya merasa terpanggil lagi seperti itu. Sering duduk termenung sendiri, saya mengamati akan istilahnya relief atau pahatannya. Itu saya sendiri sering mengatakan dalam hati saya bahwa ini nenek moyang kita ini waktu dulu belum seperti sekarang. Maksudnya itu zamannya belum canggih seperti sekarang. Tapi kok bisa memahat atau mungkin ya mengukir seperti ini. Jadi dulu itu gimana atau alatnya itu apa? Ya istilahnya itu kagum. Nenek moyang kita kok sudah pinter seperti ini.
We say in the Pacific, right, we're sailing in the wake of ancestors, that all of these migratory paths have been well traveled between all of these Pacific islands. But I feel like because of this story, because of this quick visit to this temple, we are also sailing in the wake of their ancestors. And that gives me comfort.